Yeah, so sorry Rama, how old are you?
28.
You are 28. Are you married?
No, at the moment I'm a monk. So my channel actually on YouTube called The Living Monk. So
Right.
I try to express on people that spiritual life or godly life is not something boring, it's adventurous.
Okay. But what has that got to do with marriage?
Sorry?
What has that got to do with marriage?
No, this is just my lifestyle at the moment.
Okay. I'm just asking because I'm curious.
Yeah, to get to know each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Do you have a YouTube channel?
yes,
or-
yes, yes.
Okay, I think I have one in the car.
Have you? Right,
But
good.
Would you be
That's
able
the one.
To say in a few words about your channel? What
Well,
is it
yeah,
about?
the channel is actually, the name of the channel is All Truth Revealed. And basically, on that channel, you will see us discussing Islam with people,
Okay.
yeah, informing them of what Islam is,
Okay.
and basically inviting them also to
Yes.
Islam.
very
That
good.
is primarily,
Good work.
yeah,
Inshallah.
absolutely. That is primarily what the channel is about.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have an opportunity, have a look at the channel, and you'll see quite a number of
Yeah,
videos.
I have one of the cards. Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much. And the
So
video
that
going to be featured there, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, so I don't
Yeah.
have to record everything.
Yeah. Yes,
the best parts.
it will be featured there, definitely.
Yeah.
So when did you get into
Into-
this?
Yeah, well, that's an
particular-
interesting point, you see, because our faith is reincarnations. So in this life, I accepted this way of life in 2013, but I see that as something that was perpetually happening throughout many life cycles of mine.
I've always been interested in this idea of reincarnation.
Okay,
I honestly have. Many years ago at school, a Hindu girl, a friend of mine,
yes,
was actually talking about Hinduism.
yes,
And she talked about reincarnation.
yes.
And so at the end of the discussion, we were allowed to ask questions.
Yes.
So I put my hand up and I said, how would I know if somebody has come back again?
Okay. What is the proof of reincarnations? Or
Not necessarily the proof. My mind is trying to understand how, once you die, you come back again for whatever purpose it may be.
yes,
And then if you fail, you will go and you will come back again.
perpetual cycle.
The problem with me is that when we talk about a perpetual cycle, there had to be an entry into the cycle in the first instance.
A cause to enter.
Yeah.
Okay.
There had to be.
Yes.
And if there is, then the idea of how we define perpetual also would have to be considered.
Yes.
Because if there is an entry point,
Must be
then
an end.
necessarily there will be an exit point.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, we believe so too.
Yeah. So now the question is, if I am told, okay, X is how you must be.
Yes.
For me to be able to do that, I would be given the necessary information so as to know what I need to do when I am in this particular location.
Like a purpose.
High Earth. Yeah, we call it a purpose. But there has to be whatever is the driving force would have to necessarily inform us, otherwise we are going to be lost in the dark.
Yeah. Wilderness. Yes.
Yeah? So, if that is the case, how do I reconcile
Yes.
the idea of reincarnation with the idea that as a human being I know, and all my reason and logic is telling me that such an idea seems to be illogical to me? How would you convince me?
But why is it illogical again? Because the purpose is lost in due course of time? Because it's so... If let's say, hypothetically, there are reincarnations, we're going to lose track of the initial purpose?
We would need to know what the initial purpose was first.
Yes. Yeah, well, just like I think in Christian and Islam, I mean, I'm not sure about Islam, but I think there is an idea of original sin, right?
In Christianity.
In Christianity, in Islam, is there?
No.
Okay. Okay. So why we here according to Islam? Like, why we here?
This, you see, that is exactly the point, yeah? The Muslim has been told very clearly that his purpose on earth
Yes.
is for the worship of the Creator,
Yes.
yeah? We have a limited lifespan,
Yes.
and in that limited lifespan, we have been informed of what we can do and what we cannot do, or what we ought to do.
Yes.
So it is very clear in Islam what our direction is and what our eventual end is. Clear.
Yes.
There is no doubt about it. The idea that, look, okay, you know what? You have lived a life of 70 years,
Yes.
or 7 years, or 17, whatever it may be, okay? Now you have come to the station and you have now been told, well, unfortunately, you haven't necessarily completed the task appointed to you, so we are going to send you back.
Yes. But there is a task in Islam.
No, this is what I'm telling you, that if you as a Muslim
Yes.
are told what is your objective on earth, it is the submission to the Creator,
Yes.
and in the process, whatever has been commanded for you to do, what has been prohibited for you, those are the things you undertake.
Yes.
And you have to do it to the best of your ability.
Yes.
But over and above that, it is primarily the worship of the Creator who created you in the first instance.
Yes.
So, the objective is very clear.
Yes.
The road to that objective or to the destination has been provided. We have got boundaries or parameters within which we must walk, yeah,
Yes.
and get to the destination.
Yes.
There is no room for the idea of reincarnation. And for me, this is what I'm trying to understand, that look, aside what we may perhaps, for want of a better word, believe,
Yes.
how logically can I be convinced that there is this process of coming back again and again and again until you fulfill an objective which doesn't seem to be clear?
Okay.
How?
Yeah. Well, as I see it, just like sorry, I forgot your name.
Shabir.
Shabir.
Yeah.
You had a body of a little Shabir, a little boy, right? Maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago. That body, you can say practically it's dead. It's not here anymore. It's completely changed. Scientifically, even the scientific circle, they agree that every 7 years the body completely transforms in any molecular perspective. But you're still here, right? You're present as Shabir.
But yeah, sorry. Can I call you Ram? Are you okay with
Yeah,
that?
Ram, yeah.
Right. You see, Ram, there's an issue with that, okay? I'm going to apologize to you for 1 second because somebody very important has just walked in on my side and I need to say hello to him. Salaam alaikum. How are you? Are you okay?
You're here at
I saw you
last.
on the side. Yeah. Give me a few minutes, Sheikh. Yeah? Ram, sorry, I do apologize. Basically, as a human being, yeah? When I'm a child,
Yes.
do I have the same bones?
As you're now?
Yeah.
No. Totally
I don't
not.
have the same bones.
No. How is it the same in your perspective?
I'll tell you. The bone structure,
Yes.
okay, basically, when I'm a baby,
Yes.
is soft.
Yes.
Then as I grow,
Yes.
does the bone grow?
Yes, certainly.
Which bone?
Everything.
Which bone grows?
Every single bone.
The same one.
Every part of your body transforms.
When you say transforms,
Yeah.
it's different. The word transform means, it can possibly mean from one thing to another.
Yes, that's how I see it.
But does
yes.
the bone transform from one bone to another bone?
Yes.
How?
Well, just like, if you have 1 kilo of potatoes, let's say, and I add 1 potato, it's not the same bag of potatoes. It's changed. It's a different bag.
That's what I mean. And you hit it on the head.
Yes.
My femur bone,
Yes.
does it get a bone added to it?
Yes. Bone
Which,
structure.
no, bone structure is just expanding.
Expand. But is it the same bone? Like if you measure it?
No, but here is the point. Is it the same bone?
No. Completely
No.
different.
Okay. So the leg bone, if I were to cut it off, will it grow again?
Sorry again?
If I cut the bone off
Yes.
totally, will it grow again?
I'm not familiar with that depth of science, but
Okay.
I can tell you one thing, that you cannot do the same thing you do as a child with the body structure of a child and as a mature man or as an old man.
Okay, let me ask you this, and
You
this
cannot run as
I
fast,
understand.
for
I
example.
understand. I understand what you are saying, but logically speaking, see how this works in your mind from what you have said.
Are you trying to
If-
tell me that it's the same body that you had
No,
when
no.
you were
What?
a child?
No. I just want to explore this. You said every 7 years, yeah. Every 7 years it transforms.
Yeah, that's what the scientists say.
I'm not entirely sure which scientists say this, but I'll take your word for it. Okay?
Yeah, we can link down in the comments.
Yeah, not a problem. You see, Ram, my logic now is going a bit further here. If at the age of 14
Yes,
I committed a crime,
yes,
and then at the age of 22
Yes.
I'm caught for that crime,
yes.
am I responsible?
You certainly are, because you are the same person.
I have transformed.
Yes, but that's my proof of reincarnations, that unless you were the same person, although that old body is dead, is gone, you would not be prosecuted for that same crime, because that will not be you. Then the law would not make sense.
But there's a problem here. The body is connected to, what is it connected to? Who is the you?
The soul makes the body
Now,
beat and
when,
trump-
excellent. When the criminal system is judging you, is it judging your soul or is it judging your actions through your bones and everything else?
I don't know their particular
You don't know?
consciousness. So far I'm concerned, our system is secular. They don't accept, unfortunately.
That's
their
not the
God or
issue, Ram.
soul.
I'm asking you right now, any legal system in the world, does it prosecute the soul?
No, they don't believe in the soul.
So what do they prosecute?
They prosecute the temporary body or something like
Okay,
that.
we call it the temporary body. I can go with that. The point here is that at the end of life, if you were to leave a will, and I'm just exploring this, okay? If you were to leave a will, up to what period of time can you leave the will?
But again, when you say you, what do you mean by you? Like which Which body?
As you noticed, I put it in the context of law because then you are an entity as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah?
But I don't believe that's the body, because the
True,
body changes.
but this is how I would go, Ram. If I'm, brother, you don't mind you, I'm using you as an example, mere bhai. Yeah? Excellent. I have stolen his bag. The police arrest me. And I say, no, it's not me, it's only my hand. Sorry, brother. It's my hand.
No, that will not go through.
Why?
Because they accept you as a complete whole with the body.
Do I accept you as a complete whole right now?
Yes.
Should I?
Yeah, but I'm speaking to explain you something continuous. You speak about millions of lifetimes, trillions of lifetimes. You have to take a continuum lifetime too. Just like, and I just want to finish my analogy
Yeah, sure,
because
sure.
I didn't break through one
Go ahead,
sentence.
go ahead.
Just as you had a body of a little boy, that body, is it here or is it gone? The body you had when you were a little boy.
Yeah, what is it? Sorry?
The body that you had when you were a little boy,
Yes.
sorry.
When I'm a little, yeah, don't worry.
I'm a
don't
bit
worry.
nervous, I
I
forget
can
your
see
name.
Shabir.
Shabir.
Yeah.
Little Shabir.
Yeah.
You're maybe playing soccer or cricket or whatever. Is that body is here or is it different body you mean?
My body is exactly the same body. As I grew,
Oh,
Many-
As you say, as soon as you say grew, it means difference, no? Differentiation.
how can it be different?
Because you said it's different. You say
Okay, let me try and explain this. Is the soul subject to time and change?
So let's leave aside the soul. We're speaking about
Well,
the
I'm
body.
asking, is the soul subject to time and change?
Let's put aside the soul. We're speaking about the body.
I cannot distinguish between the body and the soul. Can you?
Yes.
Okay.
Certainly. If
You
you
can.
see a dead man, you know it's a dead man.
No.
You don't need to bring a paramedic
No.
to see a dead man.
I mean, to be honest with you, we are alive.
Yes.
We have to talk
Inshallah.
about us being alive. A dead person or a dead being, an animal, whatever, it cannot communicate with us.
Yeah.
In
Even
general
beyond
terms.
that, you can
In
see.
general terms.
You can see.
Okay. What can you see?
Even beyond communication, you can perceive dead matter from inert matter, like this surface.
I'm so glad.
and the tree.
Excellent. Dead matter, inert matter. What's the difference?
Inert means immovable, so far I'm concerned.
Okay.
Dead.
So what kind of matter are we?
We are movable matter.
Movable matter.
The body.
Now, when you are a child, is that movable matter?
Yes. Yes.
When you are an adult, is it movable matter? Is there a difference in the movable matter?
Certainly there is, sir.
What is the difference?
The difference, for example, that a little child he cannot how do you call it, participate in sex activities, for example. An adult he can legally too, and physically. And a child he cannot. A 5-year-old, 6 years old, 7 years old. So if the body was the same, I would challenge you to show me that the activity that we would anticipate from the body would be the same too, logically. Would you not say so?
Logically speaking, you touched on the right aspect here. If you were to take the reproductive element...
I don't believe you're a little child, I'm sorry.
No, I understand what you mean.
You're mature,
I understand.
Much more than
Yeah.
More experience in life.
The reproductive element that you touched on, okay? My initial point was that the formation of the body, has got its little switches.
Yes.
Those switches do not change. Yeah? The switches are switching on and off. I'm using simple terms here, so we can understand
They're already
both.
there, you mean to say.
They are already there,
Okay, that's
and
an interesting point.
they are switching, and they are permitting everything in the little child to start expanding. Mm-hmm. We call it growth, okay? But the central issue here, which unfortunately has still not been addressed, is that when the bones are growing, those switches are already there. I don't know if you are familiar with. I don't know if you are. I don't know if you are familiar with master genes.
No, I'm not.
No, right?
I'm not
Okay,
a
not to worry. Yeah, but you will find that the human body, okay,
genetically already.
if you go at the exactly.
Okay, that's
if we were to take that and extract it, okay, and have the ability to be able to progress speedily the growth of that code, then this is
It will be anticipated, in other words.
we can call it at this moment in time it would be considered to be science fiction, but the possibility is there for you to have one human being grown within 1 hour into an adult.
Yeah, sure.
Can it be done?
We can play fast forward. On YouTube, there's so many videos like that.
We can, but you see, the problem is that with the idea of major change, to the extent that the change that has taken place is beyond redemption, would unfortunately be.
And the point that it's beyond redemption means, in one sense, that body is already dead.
No, that's what I'm saying is wrong. You misunderstood me. Yeah, where the change takes place. The issue is that if you go down to the central point that I made about the code itself, it has already got all the necessary equipment for this body up to death.
Okay. So why
Well, if that is the case, then the central issue becomes, why do I have the ability to be able to grow to old age and die? What would the reasons be? Why is it set the way it is?
What's the purpose?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But not only that, we now have this incredible ability to be able to look within ourselves to the extent that now possibly we are looking at all the master codes, I call them master codes, to be able to determine what is actually going wrong with the vehicle.
Yes.
Okay? But that can only happen when it is already pre-programmed. And if it is already
if
it is pre-programmed, then the idea that every 7 years there's a complete change cannot be right.
Well, the 7-year change, it's not me who stated that. You can watch different articles. And
whoever has stated it, I would humbly submit they are wrong.
Okay, but argument remains the same. Like, are we the same body we were born with? Are we a toddler, a little child, or we actually transform?
That is excellent. Now, if I can see that we are going to hit a dead end here, so if I just slightly divert it and ask you, Brother Ram, when I die, when you die, what leaves?
The I.
What's the I?
The thing that you said, I die. So
What is that I?
I say it's the soul, ruh.
Okay, let's call it the soul.
Yes.
Yeah? Where does it return to?
Returns, it goes perpetually.
We address perpetualism at the start. If I'm here, I came from somewhere.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Where did I come from?
You specifically,
No, generally speaking, us. Where have we come from?
what we believe as the Harikirshnas, we all came from God, from Allah, from the spiritual world.
We came from a creator.
Yes.
So necessarily, the creator created us.
I don't see it like that.
Okay.
The creator and us, we are inseparable.
That's what we've come to,
We are,
unfortunately.
we call it in Sanskrit amsha. We're
Yeah.
little particle of the creator. It doesn't make us the creator, but we are same in quality with the creator. So we were never separate or never created to be.
So are you suggesting to me that I can confidently state I am divine?
Yes, the soul is divine. Sir.
Okay. So now, if I am divine, is my divinity equal to the creator?
No, not in quantity. There's
Right,
a difference
okay.
in
So-
quality.
so
It's
am-
like if I take a drop of the Atlantic or Pacific Ocean,
Yes.
you can say that you have the Pacific Ocean in your hands, but you have a sample. You
Yeah.
don't have the whole Pacific Ocean.
But
So
I
we have
see.
God in
Yeah.
our heart, but not as the quantity.
I see what you mean. But then that causes a further problem for me.
Okay, certainly.
Are you suggesting that the creator now can be found in little pieces?
Yes. Even an atom.
Excellent. So are we to suggest that there's divinity in the tree?
Yes. Every single thing that lives.
Right. That lives.
Thrives. Yes.
But you just said
Thrives.
atoms.
Yeah, atoms that live too.
Are they alive? Right. So
We see something that living in 6 principles. First thing that he is born, he is growing, he is maintaining for some time, he is producing byproducts, he sustains, no, that I said already, he's dwindling, and he dies ultimately.
yeah. So that is the life of a living entity.
Living entity, yes. Anything that exhibits these 6 symptoms of writing is, I consider that as living.
Right. Okay. Now, we know that if we are to take this and extend it as an example,
Yes.
then that fence there is included.
Not as a complete unit. That's a
But
bit
the-
of a different
that's the
conversation.
problem.
But for this particular conversation, we can stick to something as a complete unit that we can perceive as living, as you or the tree or
But
an animal.
a complete unit requires all the elementary particles and the
work together.
atoms, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Are you suggesting that all the atoms, according to
Individually.
are alive?
If they exhibit the 6 symptoms, if we can judge and find them, yes. Anything, not just the atoms.
Right.
But why won't we stick for something that we can perceive with the eyes? Because atoms,
I'll tell you why.
we don't even see with
I
our
understand.
own eyes.
I tell you why. Because you see, if we were to apply those 6 principles you talked about,
Yes.
okay, they can be applied to anything.
Exactly.
Now, I have great difficulty in trying to logically understand this, that a creator, by definition, the word creator means the creator creates. Okay? Now, what you are suggesting to me is that the creator is not necessarily creating,
He is expanding himself.
he is expanding himself. But to expand, you need to be limited.
Why?
Well, how can you expand otherwise?
Well, maybe in a material sense, in a limited sense, that limits you. But a creator, a divine creator that is already, like we agree. Do we agree that God is unlimited by?
Again, words
As
that
an
we are,
axiomatic
no,
truth.
I understand. The words that we are employing, they themselves need to be considered. So, for what you just said, if I were to say to you, Ram, okay, is the creator limited or is the creator absolute? Which one?
Absolute, certainly.
If a creator is an absolute, by definition, the absolute cannot divide.
Well, if he cannot do something, he's not absolute.
Wait a minute. If the creator is absolute, the
Yes.
creator cannot divide.
If he cannot do something, he's not absolute. I'm sorry.
Wait.
I accept that the creator can do anything.
All right. Is that your view? Okay. Can the creator lie?
Yes,
Would he lie?
if he wants to.
All right, if he wants to. Well, then I would suggest that there's a huge misunderstanding of what the Creator is.
Yes.
Do you know why I would suggest this?
Certainly.
If the Creator
Yes.
has given the right information,
He has given, or
if the Creator has
he's
given
given
the right information
us.
to humanity,
Okay, yeah.
that information would necessarily give you the information about the Creator and what the Creator is and is
Yes.
not.
Yeah, it can be.
That's logical, isn't it?
Yeah.
We as human beings, by definition, cannot establish what the Creator is.
Yes, he's inconceivable.
It is illogical.
Yes.
Now, if, according to our understanding, the Creator is inconceivable, then logic only dictates unless and until the Creator communicates
With
with
us.
the creation, will we know what the Creator is.
If he communicates with us.
If.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Now,
of how
for
I
us,
see it.
absolutely.
Just like Angel Gabriel, he himself descended to give
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad, Rasul, peace be upon him.
Yeah. Yeah, well, whichever prophet.
Yes.
But the point is that we would have to agree, logically speaking, that if there is a Creator who, according to the understanding of all cultures right across the world, in their form, they may be different, but one thing is for sure, that the Creator is way, way above what the created entity can conceive of the Creator.
Certainly.
So, if and where confusion may arise, it is quite logical to accept and understand that unless and until the Creator communicates, we will be in confusion.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, darkness, ignorance.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, unless and until we search out exactly what that communication is, it is a path of knowledge that we have undertaken until
Yes.
we reach the objective.
Yes,
Do we agree on that?
certainly.
There you are. A pleasure speaking to you, sir.
That's all?
Anything untoward
But-
said, please
but-
do forgive me. That
No,
was
no
not
problem.
the
But
intention.
why God he cannot lie, for example?
Sorry?
Why God cannot do something? Or-
Because the nature of lying
Yes.
I'll tell you why. The nature of lying requires a limited entity.
Yes.
You see,
Limited.
if I lie to you, you won't know.
Yes.
Okay? By definition, an absolute creator, you can't apply what we apply to a limited entity to a creator.
Yeah,
And
essentially
so the
that's-
creator would not lie, never.
Not in the sense that how we lie, but he can do. If we
No.
like my logic, like we can
Yeah.
leave aside now scriptures or religious.
Let's just
fact.
leave that aside. Ram, let
Yeah,
me,
certainly.
I do apologize. I'll just explain what I mean. For you to be able to lie,
Yes.
you need to be limited.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
I don't need to. I am limited.
But listen to me.
Yes.
For you to be able to lie, you need to be limited.
Yes.
For that lie to be accepted, another limited entity has to be told.
Yes.
So if you lie to me,
Yes.
I cannot read everything in your atom or your particle. I cannot do it.
Yes.
So I don't know whether you've told the truth or not. Unless and until you are a limited entity, then only lying can be applied. Otherwise, it cannot. Did you follow that?
So.
Okay. Not too
for
early.
Me, for me, if my logic tells me if God cannot do something,
Yeah.
he's not God. He's not absolute.
Okay. If I were to say, can God create another God?
Yes.
You believe he can?
In a temporary sense.
Temporary means it's a created entity.
Yes.
Whichever way you look at it, yeah.
Exactly.
The moment we
That means
use the word
he can be
create,
God for a little bit and then he's
no,
gonna
no,
stop.
no. What it would be is it's a created entity.
Yes.
And that created entity can never ever be equal to the creator. Impossible. Now, the idea that you are sharing on a limited plane, it can be understood.
Yes.
But on an absolute plane, impossible.
No, he cannot create something absolute because as soon as we introduce the word create,
Did you just say he can't do something?
he can and he cannot. That's the inconceivable.
My view is
Yes.
that what the creator can do, the creator has told humanity.
Yes.
What the creator is, he's informed humanity. If we look at what the creator has said,
Yes.
this kind of what I would consider to be confusion
Yes.
would dissipate automatically. You see, because I would say to you, brother,
Yes.
if I said to you,
Yes.
I am the richest, you don't hear this, okay? I am the richest man on this planet.
Okay.
How would you prove me wrong?
I become more rich.
How would you know?
No, I become more rich than you, than anyone else.
Maybe I'm lying to you.
He didn't
How
get it.
does it matter though?
I know. If I lied to you
Yes.
and I said I am the richest man on earth, how would you know whether I'm telling the truth?
You can make a research maybe, or
Excellent. If you've researched and you found I wasn't the richest man, did I lie to you?
yes.
I did. Now, the fact that you went and did research was because you didn't know everything. That is why you didn't know I lied.
Yes.
If you knew everything, can you be lied to?
How is it connected to the?
If you knew everything, can you be lied to?
If I know everything?
Yeah,
No. If I know everything.
can't. If you have created an entity that has the ability to lie,
Yes.
it will only be because they're limited.
Yes.
That's my bottom line. That with the Creator, you cannot do that. The only way you can view the Creator is how the Creator has told us to view the Creator. Anything else is speculation which will lead you to confusion and darkness. That is what I would ask you to consider.
Yeah. I don't feel that any of the points were addressed. But
No problem, no
maybe I
problem.
can watch it
A
again.
pleasure. Yeah, watch it again.
Thank you, sir.
God
Have a good
bless.
day.
Look after
Inshallah.
yourself. Again. Again. Again.
No, no, my turn, my turn.